Hi, my name is Ashish Munjal. I'm co-founder and CEO of Sunstone Eduversity. Today I'm going to answer all the questions from Collegedunia. See, being a co-founder of Sunstone, my core philosophy of leadership is that when you are running and when you are creating a company wherein you want to create a large impact in the society, you need to ensure that you give much more independence and freedom to the people who are executing and who are working on your behalf, so that they can actually go and execute the way they want to. So to give more independence, to give more responsibility to the people, to the middle management, that's probably my philosophy of leadership. See, this is a very interesting question, that what a student can gain from studying in Sunstone and how Indian higher education is different from, let's say, a foreign education. For that, first we need to understand what is Indian education system, or is the need or problems in Indian higher education same as that of foreign higher education? If yes, then what we need to do? If no, then what are the different strategies that we need to follow? The first thing is that the current situation of Indian higher education ecosystem and the current problems that we are trying to tackle is very, very different from the Western markets. As a country, we are dealing with the problems of unemployability. As a country, we are dealing with the problem that students who are graduating do not have the industry ready skill set. As a country, from the colleges side, we are also dealing with the problem of not being able to fill all the seats that are there in the education ecosystem, right? And we believe that the core reason of that is, as an education provider, we need to take accountability of a student's education. And as let's say, as a student, student also need to get much more serious and understand that when they are taking admission in a college, it's an equal participation that is expected from their side as well, to ensure that they are able to get into good job, they are able to become industry ready. And that is the reason, that is the core philosophy with which Sunstone is started. We work with the student to ensure that they are getting the industry ready education, whether in terms of our specialization, whether in terms of the pedagogy, whether in terms of the technology that we are using, whether in terms of the modules that we are teaching to the students, right? Now all of this becomes much more critical and fruitful to the student when we take accountability of their education, which in a way is, let's say, with pay after placement, what we are trying to do. So this is something that we believe can be a real game changer in the Indian education ecosystem. That's actually a very interesting question, and that's something I have been talking about a lot since last 2 years, that how Sunstone curriculum actually makes a student industry ready. Now, to understand this, we have to understand what is that we are teaching currently in our classrooms. We are teaching a lot of things in our classroom which, as a student, I will never get to use when I graduate and I start working in a corporate. This is the question that all the educational provider, all the educational institutions need to ask themselves: are we teaching the right skill set to the student, or we are becoming a more academia sort of thing for the student? And when we are talking about professional courses like engineering, MBA, BBA, we need to ensure that we are teaching students something which is relevant for them. And let me give you a couple of examples. When we are teaching students, let's say MBA, we are covering a lot of things which are strategy management. In marketing, we are covering, let's say, marketing models, how do you plan your media spend, and all those things. These are kind of things that the student who will be graduating, he'll never be using these things at least for next 5 years in his corporate life. Now it's a choice as an academic institution what you want to prepare your students for. Do you want to prepare your students for something that he'll be doing, let's say, 10 years after he graduate, or something that he'll be using right away after he graduate? So whether you want to teach him, let's say if I'm talking about marketing, whether you want to teach him what is a LTV, what is, let's say, a difference between a demand versus need, these kind of things, what is 4 P's of marketing, how do you do referral marketing, these are the things that he'll be using right after his college. If I start teaching him something which is more jargonish, which looks good on the books, but ultimately never be using those things in his corporate career. So this is something which needs to change, and that is something which we at Sunstone take something very seriously. And what we do is that we start with the corporate first rather than starting with the academia. So we first reach out to corporate. Let's say if I am creating a specialization in digital marketing or logistics or banking operation, I will first reach out to the corporate in that field, understand from them that what is the requirement for an entry level job, and after that, that's when our curriculum team will come in, and they will start creating the curriculum in partnership with the subject matter experts, and that is how the whole curriculum will be created. When we talk about students from diverse backgrounds, so it's something that we take very seriously here at Sunstone, because when it comes to, let's say, female participation in the workforce, and when we talk about students from different races participation in the background, students from different geographical areas, that's something which is one of the things that we have always focused on. And if you look at, we already are standing at around 30 to 32% females or girls in the MBA program. We have students from every nook and corner of the country. We have students from Northeast, we have students from Chhattisgarh, we have students from Jammu Kashmir. So obviously it's much easier for you to get students from the belts like UP, Bihar, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune. But when it comes to inclusion and diversity, we have students from each and every part of the country, and we have students from different economic backgrounds as well. And that's something which, when we are offering a program like pay after placement, it becomes much more easier for us to attract students from different diverse backgrounds. When we talk about what is Sunstone's top priority over next 10 years or over next 5 years, the one thing with which we started was to take accountability of a student's career. And all of us know that there are multiple reports which says that only 40% of the graduating students have the right skill set, even less than that, and around 35-40% of the students are able to get into any sort of jobs after they complete their professional degree. This is the problem with which we started. This is a problem which is very close to our hearts, and this is a problem which we want to solve. And when we talk about our long-term goals, this is absolutely the same problem which we want to solve for. So I would like students to know about that there is a player, there is a company which is actually standing with them, putting their skin in the game with student and walking alongside them for the 2 years, and even after that once they graduate, is that there is somebody who is willing to put their skin in the game and ensure that the students are becoming successful. So for me personally, the strength is the people, strength is the passion with which they are executing, is the passion with which they are working with students day in and day out, from morning 8 a.m. to evening 10 p.m. and working with the students, ensuring that these students are getting the right skill set, they are being prepared for each and everything, whether we talk about their subject matter skills, whether we talk about preparing them for the interviews. The team here is standing with the student, working side by side with them and ensuring that these students get into good jobs. So this, I would say, is the biggest strength of the company. As a country, if you look at in last around 8 to 10 years, we have seen the number of seats continuously getting increased every year, and the enrollments have not been able to kept pace at the same speed. So we need to understand as an education providers that it's not just about building the real estate, it's not about building the assets. It is all about understanding what the student wants from us. It's all about ensuring that we are actually creating a real value for students. So if as an education provider, as an ecosystem, we are not able to provide real value for the student, ultimately it will not be worth it. So we need to ensure that we are providing real value to the student, and that's something that as in the whole industry needs to start focusing much more on the real value that we are creating for the student. Are we taking accountability for their education? Are we able to change the way student life would have been if we would not have come to our institution? So that's the biggest challenge, and at the same time the biggest opportunity that exists currently in the higher education ecosystem. So I would just like to thank Collegedunia for giving us this opportunity to speak with their student community, and it's something that personally I always enjoy speaking with the students. And we also do a lot of webinars regularly on our YouTube channel as well. So in fact, I would like to invite all the students to come and visit our YouTube channel, maybe subscribe, maybe listen to few of the webinars and everything that we are doing on the channel. Thank you.